everyone. Couple reminders and announcements before we start today's lesson. So yesterday I assigned your quiz, Chapter 8 quiz, and from this point forward, for at least the next couple weeks, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to start reviewing. We would have had time anyway to review for the state test, but since there are no more state tests this year, we're still going to review because you still have a final at the end of the year. Plus, we're a little bit ahead of the other team. So we figured we might as well take this time to review. So review starts today. You'll have 2 days per topic. So we'll do a mini lesson, some independent practice, and then a formal practice. So like a Google form, most likely, or a drag and drop. That starts today. Our first topic is integers. 2, grades are due today. I'm entering them in my grade book as we speak, which is why I'm late to post this. And third thing is everything from today on counts for the fourth quarter. Be checking eSchool. I'm going to be labeling our Google Classroom assignments differently so that they match what's in eSchool so they're easier to find. And then fourth thing is I'm going live at 11 a.m. on Fridays for Q&A and just to check in. Ms. Fulmer will be there too. Generally, every Friday we'll go live just, again, for a check-in, make sure everyone's doing okay. If you need to come in, ask us a question, or not, just to say hello, show your face. We would love to see you. All right, let's get today's lesson started. So, warm-up from yesterday was I can do my best on my geometry quiz. I need to find the area. So there's been some issues a little bit with finding the area, especially with this guy. That's a semicircle. So let's do the area of a rectangle first. So area of a rectangle is base times height. Everyone seems to be able to get that at least. Base is 15, the height is 10. Again, height, base, 15 times 10 is 150. It's inches squared. And then the semicircle is where we're falling apart. Area for semicircle is pi r squared divided by 2. Area is equal to pi. The radius is not 10. The diameter is 10. But remember, if the diameter is 10, the radius is half of 10, which is 5. So then plug in 5 squared divided by 2. Area is equal to, well, 5 squared is 25. Pi divided by 2. So 25 pi ends up being like 78.5. Divide that by 2. And you get area is equal to 39.3. This is just inches squares. This is the semicircle. So you have to add this and add that together. So 189.3 inches squared would be your final answer. Okay. Let's do Tuesday's warm-up. I can review how to write integer expressions. From 12 midnight to 6 a.m., the temperature decreased by 12 degrees Celsius. If the original temperature was 12 degrees, which expression can be used to represent this situation? So originally it was 12, then it decreased by 12. You could also write it like this. Originally it was 12, then it decreased by 12. Decreased means negative or subtract. So if we find any of those, we know they're the answer. And look at that. A would be the answer. Can't add because you're not increasing. This turned into addition, so that would be just the same as B. And our original temperature was not negative 12, it was 12. So A would be the only correct answer here. All right, that's the kind of stuff we're working on for the next couple days. So review lesson 1, integer word problems. So these would be your notes. The independent practice would be on the next page. The high temperature on Saturday, that's a typo. The high temperature on Saturday was 6 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature, so we're talking about high temperatures and low temperatures, the low temperature was negative 3 degrees. What is the difference between the high and the low temperatures for the day? When we're talking about difference, we mean subtraction, but you have to pay attention to the order of the question. The question is asking for high minus low. The high temperature was 6, so 6. Then the subtraction becomes difference. The low temperature was -3. So 6 minus -3 would give us 9 degrees. I know that because of the rule, leave, add, opposite, or LAO. I would leave 6 alone, change subtraction to addition. Opposite of -3 is 3. It becomes 6 plus 3, which we know is 9 degrees. Also, you could think of it like a thermometer. If I have 0 all the way down, this is just going to be, I'm only going to -3, so that would be -2, -3, -1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Think about all the difference between the highest and the lowest. So count all those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 9 little notches there on the number line. So however you think of it, the difference here is 9 degrees. A lot commonly, I get this as an answer. -3 minus 6, which gives me -9. There are not -9 degrees between them. There are 9 degrees. Okay, you can't have a negative amount, you can have a negative temperature. And then also a lot, I get 6 minus 3. That's the most common one. 6 minus 3 is 3. No, that is not true. We're talking about -3. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention to those minor details. All right, and also try this without a calculator. Example 2. You play a game where you score, oh my gosh, I use the exact same numbers. When you score -6 points on the first turn, okay, and then on each of the next 3 turns. What is your score after those 4 turns? So we'll think of it a couple ways. On the first turn, you score -6 points. On the second turn, you score -6 points. Third, -6, and fourth, -6. Let's make sure I did this right. This is on the first, -6 points on the first turn, so that's here, and then on each of the next 3 turns, so that's where I got the 3 more, you scored -6 again. So what is your score after those 4 turns? Okay, well, an easy way to do this, there are how many -6s? 4. So 4 times -6 would be a perfectly good expression. And 4 times -6 is, hopefully you remember this rule, a positive, let's get my pointer, a positive times a negative is a negative. So 4 times -6 is -24 points. Okay, you cannot have -4 times 6. Because -4 is talking about turns. It's not talking about anything that should be negative. So you have to have, yes, you'll get the same answer, but you have to have the correct expression. So that would be wrong. Okay, so pay attention to that. All right, and example 3. Owen is fishing from a dock. He starts with the bait 2 feet below the surface of the water. Hopefully we know that that's -2. He reels out the bait 19 feet, then he reels it back in 7 feet. What is the final position of the bait relative to the surface of the water? Okay, so if we're talking about fishing, let's see, this is my dock. I'll try to draw a picture. Really bad already. That's the water. And I will draw someone fishing. Here's his fishing pole. I don't know what a fishing pole should look like. And here we go. So that's his bait at the bottom, whatever he decides to use. So this is 2 feet below the surface of the water. So if the surface of the water was 0, 2 feet below would be -2. Reeling out the bait, you have to think that's going out farther. So this is going even more. From here to here is 19 feet more, and then he reels it back in 7 feet. So either my picture is very confusing or it's helping you. So 2 feet below the surface of the water would be -2. Reeling out the bait is going in a continuous negative direction, 19 feet, and then reeling it back in would go in the opposite direction of +7. That will get you your final answer, but you can also have -2 plus -19, because remember that adding a negative is the same as subtraction. Let me get rid of that. And then +7 is equal to. So then we solve. -2 plus -19 is -21, plus 7 is -14 feet. So you could have -14 feet as your answer, or you could do 14 feet below the surface, however you want to word that. Okay, so now at this point, now that you've watched the video, you are going to continue on and do the like I had for everything here. I wrote an expression, whether it's just addition, multiplication, dependent practice. You have 6 questions. The directions say to write an expression and then solve. So like subtraction, division, maybe it's all 4 of them, maybe it's 2 out of the 4, 3 out of the 4, whatever it is. Write the expression and then solve. Okay, I'm not just going to have -3 as my answer. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm not going to have -3 as my answer. I'm going to have the full expression. Okay, you will lose points if you do not write the expression. Okay, should be pretty easy. So, all right, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I miss you. Hank misses you guys. He can't wait to come back to school. I'm praying we come back to school this year. I seriously miss you all. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day.